Hello and welcome to session 7. The topic of today's discussion is microbial production of protease. Proteases are the second most important industrial enzymes after amylases. About 500 tons of the enzymes are produced per year. This can be produced commercially from bacteria and fungi. The proteases on the market include alkaline, neutral, and acidic proteases. Proteases are enzymes that perform the hydrolysis of peptide bonds. Peptide bond links the amino acid to give the final structure of a protein. Proteinases are extracellular and peptidases are endocellular, second most important enzyme produced on a large scale after amylases. Uh, the proteases can be serine proteases, threonine protease, aspartate protease, cysteine protease, glutamic acid protease, metalloproteases, alkaline serine proteases, acid proteases, and neutral proteases. They have a wide range of application. They are relatively unstable, and calcium, sodium, and chloride must be added for maximum stability. And they are not stable at higher temperatures. Producing organisms are uh, Bacillus subtilis, Bacillus megaterium, etc. They are quickly inactivated by alkaline proteases. Similar to mammalian pepsin, it consists of rennin-like protease from fungi, which are chiefly used in cheese production. They are used in medicine, in the digestion of soy protein for soya sauce production, and to break down the wheat gluten in the baking industry. Even it has its application in the textile industry, silk industry, to liberate silk fibers from naturally occurring proteinaceous material in which they are embedded. It's also used in the tenderizing of meat. It's also used in detergents and food industries. This is the outline of alkaline protease enzyme production. So the first step is we have to isolate the organism of interest, and preparation of the inoculum and preparation of the media component, preparation of the fermentation media, optimization of the media, and then the actual fermentation process. Then enzyme has to be extracted and it has to be assayed for the activity, and we have to do protein assay, and then we have to go for the purification process. It can be by ammonium sulfate precipitation, ultracentrifugation, flocculation, chromatography. This is all the downstream processing, or the recovery of the protein, and then the characterization of the purified alkaline protease and packaging. So this is the overview of the production step in the protease enzyme. So this is explained in detail. So first we have to isolate the microorganism. The organism has to be isolated, and among bacteria, Bacillus species are widely used, and they produce extracellular proteases. And for industrial utilization, the genes for the formation of several proteases have been cloned by protein engineering and have been used to develop or modify Bacillus subtila peptidases with altered amino acid sequences. So the pH has to be, and optimum temperature has to be maintained according to the organism. So this is a organism I have taken from ResearchGate, from some research paper. I have cited here the detail. So this is how the protease producing bacteria, Bacillus cereus, it is forming a clear zone of inhibition. So it is a example of protease production. So this is also the example of protease production. So there are many such organisms which can grow in different physical parameters, has to be isolated. Yeah, the second step is the media formation. Media should be rich in nitrogen sources such as soybean milk. Casein, gelatin, and carbohydrate sources such as starch or lactose are generally used for the protease production. The third step is fermentation proper. The nature of fermentation can be solid or submerged, influences the growth of mass as well as enzyme production. For the production of alkaline protease by using Bacillus species, the culture stored in lyophilized state or under liquid nitrogen for sterility, and initial growth is carried out in shaker flask and a small fermenter around 30 to 37 degrees centigrade in 40 to 100 cube. The process is fed batch to keep down the concentration of ammonium ions and amino acids. Sometimes continuous process can also be used, but it is not so common. And aeration is around 1 ppm and time is around 48 to 72 hours. So we get the we can expect the product. Purification, different methods can be applied for the purification of enzyme like ultrafiltration, chromatographic technique like ion exchange, or by affinity chromatography by treatment with activated charcoal and hydrogen peroxide. The pH of the production medium is kept at 7 for satisfactory results, and optimum temperature is around 30 to 40 degrees centigrade. And these are some of the important organisms, some bacteria and fungal strains that are used in the production of protease. Enzymes used in detergents are chiefly proteases from Bacillus strains, and best known proteases are subtilisin Carlsberg from Bacillus licheniformis, and subtilisin BNP and subtilisin novo from Bacillus amyloliqueficans. And again, this is the summary or the overview of the whole production process. So we have to first have a microbial strain which have the potential to produce protease. The process can be submerged fermentation or it can be solid state fermentation. So if I take submerged fermentation, so after the fermentation process, the cells has to be separated. Then we get the biomass, and then we get the uh, compost. After the separating the cells, we filtering out the cells, we get the cell-free supernatant. This supernatant, uh, this supernatant, cell-free supernatant, which is containing the enzyme, has to be sent for enzyme concentration, then enzyme stabilization, and we get the product. And when we come to SSF, or the solid state fermentation process, yes, when we come to the solid state fermentation process, again we have to look for the extraction and separation, and the waste will be used as animal feed, and then we have to concentrate the enzyme, and we have to concentrate the enzyme, and enzyme has to be stabilized, and we get the product. Or sometimes uh, we need to take the supernatant and the solvent has to be recovered. So this is like when the enzyme is produced outside the cell, when the enzyme is produced outside the cell, so we are not interested in the cell, so we have to remove the supernatant, and we have to remove the supernatant, and we have to concentrate the enzyme. So whatever the waste material is remaining, it can be used as a compost, or it can be used for the biogas production. So that's all for this. Thank you one and all.